Tower of God Book 1. Arc 3-4, Lero-Ro's test / Johansson's examination. Chapter .09, Chapter .10, 2F Lero-Ro's test. The chapter starts off with the teams of regulars having just been transported to Evankel's mothership. All the regulars take some time to converse and look around at the competition. Meanwhile, Ship Lisu brags about his imaginary killer arts as Rak gets agitated because Bomb and Kun still haven't let go of his hands. The red-headed regular that DD Kancho got into a fight with in the previous test grabs him and yells at him for slicing off his arm. DD keeps his cool and insults the red-headed regular, which provokes an attack, but he is held back by his teammates. Lero-Ro then enters and quells the argument by simply announcing that he is the test examiner. Bomb thinks Lero-Ro is amazing, to which Kun agrees, because he is a ranker. Lero-Ro grabs the attention of all the rankers and announces a pretest. He proceeds to create a barrier by compressing the Shinsu in the room, knocking all of the regulars back. Afterwards, he describes the test. Each team must pass through the Shinsu barrier. Surprisingly, though, Bomb wasn't pushed back by Lero-Ro's barrier, and is standing in front of it, alone. Bomb asks Lero-Ro if he should go through the barrier to pass the test. Lero-Ro says no. The ranker and several other regulars begin to wonder what kind of monster entered the test with them. At the beginning of this chapter, some regulars are poking the Shinsu barrier and getting shocked as a result. Bomb, who's sitting on the floor, is approached by Lero-Ro, who seems to be intrigued by him. Lero-Ro states that Bomb looks bored and proposes a little bet to guess which regular passes through the Shinsu barrier first, with the winner getting to ask the loser any question they want. Bomb agrees right away. Lero-Ro immediately picks Anik. While inspecting the regulars, Bomb thinks to himself that there is a strong chance Rachel has come this way and that Lero-Ro might have seen her. Bomb notices, as well, something about Anik that makes her stand out. It's likely Shinsu, due to her being a demi-princess. Based on that alone, he also picks Anik. Lero-Ro asks him why, to which Bomb simply replies a feeling. Right then, Anik passes through the barrier with relative ease, leaving a nearby regular in awe. Lero-Ro states it's a draw, but concedes since he's the ranker and will answer Bomb's questions. Bomb asks about Rachel, giving a description of her to Lero-Ro. Lero-Ro says that he hasn't seen her, but that it's possible she may have been tested at another location, and he'll ask the other examiners about her. Bomb then asks about irregulars. The scene shifts to Ship Lisu still trying to get through the barrier, saying it makes no sense that his teammates could get through the barrier but he couldn't. Serena Rinnan then taunts Lisu about not being able to get through the barrier, stating that only chosen people like her can get through the barrier. While taunting him, her head smacks into the barrier and starts bleeding. Lisu taunts her, calling her an old hag, and asks if she'd like him to wipe the blood off her face. Lisu and Serena then start yelling and banging on the barrier, waking up Lore, who asks them to keep the yelling to outside the tower. Lore then passes through the barrier without any trouble and lies back down with his pillow and blanket to go back to sleep. This enrages Serena and Lisu. Serena yells that she's going to rip apart his pillow and blanket, and Lisu says he won't be able to rest peacefully until he kills that bastard. In the meantime, Lero-Ro answers Bomb's earlier question by stating that an irregular is someone who violates the tower's laws. Bomb inquires further about this, to which Lero-Ro tells him about the structure of the tower. Lero-Ro points out that it seems this is the first time Bomb's heard about all this, what causes Bomb to panic and claim that he already knew what he was being told. Lero-Ro then states that regulars are all chosen, and that the choosing of regulars are done by Hedon. Rarely, though, those who aren't chosen make their way into the tower. They are the irregulars. Bomb asks if irregulars are bad people, to which Lero-Ro replies, even though they are against the laws of the tower, that doesn't mean they all must be bad people. He then says, however, all the irregulars who have come in Fantaminum, Enryu, Urek Mazzino, implying they are the only irregulars thus far, have had so much power that they became a symbol of fear. Bomb asks if it would be possible to meet them. Lero-Ro confirms, of course it is, at the top. Since everything exists at the top. Suddenly, a regular who hasn't made it through the barrier starts complaining and boasting about his power, shouting he's the strongest out of the regulars and calling the test stupid. Lero-Ro then passes through the barrier to see the regular, who then says he can tell at a glance that Lero-Ro is weak. Lero-Ro chastises him for not realizing this test was the last merciful chance he will get. Lero-Ro then says he must be stupid and he will teach him the hard way about the power that exists in the tower, and that is why he can't possibly progress higher. Lero-Ro shocks the regular with Shinsu, causing him incredible pain. He then tells the regular he failed to be chosen and to return to the floor he came from. The regular yells at Lero-Ro, telling him how much he threw away to climb the tower, though the ranker simply walks away to continue his conversation with Bomb. The disqualification of the regular, on the other hand, only motivates Ship Lee-Soo and Serena Rinnan to try harder to get through the barrier. Kun and Rak pass through the barrier effortlessly, though Kun's Manbarandena has a little trouble. While Kun is heading towards Bomb to get ready for the next test, Lero-Ro advises Bomb that he shouldn't get too friendly with him, because he is born of a dangerous bloodline. After Lero-Ro's test finishes, Yellow greets all of the regulars in another room and tells them that the next test will proceed with one team at a time. While the exam is ongoing, mysterious Mr. Neon Bag speaks to Bomb and Kun and gives them some hints about the test. Kun, however, doesn't trust him and wonders about whether to listen to him. A scream is heard beyond the door, and it's now Kun, Bomb, and Rak's turn to be tested. They walk into a room with 12 doors, and a man sitting in the center who welcomes them and introduces himself to be Yuhan Sung, the examiner of their test.